Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
So we have officially made it to week number 4, day number 14 of the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. Now, you know how we do. We're going to recap day number 13. Now, in a chilling day of testimony, Diddy's former assistant, Mia, gave jurors an inside look at the fear and chaos she says she lived through while working for Sean Diddy Combs. She told the court that she was put in the middle after Cassie discovered Diddy was cheating. Cassie had seen a video of him with another woman by the name of Gina, and Mia says that she was caught in the fallout. Now, jurors saw disturbing text messages where Mia described having night terrors about Diddy and claimed that he threatened to unalive her. In a WhatsApp message, Diddy warned her, "Let's go to war and I'll tell everything," if she didn't respond. Now, in one intense moment on New Year's 2010 on a yacht in St. Bart's, she was told to count money in a safe, but Diddy allegedly got furious because she was counting too slowly. Mia says that the trauma has been long lasting. She hasn't been able to return to work because she's suffering from severe complex PTSD. But during cross-examination, Diddy's team tried to poke holes in her story. They showed glowing social media posts Mia made in the past, calling Diddy a legend and saying, "We effing love you." She explained that those were part of a facade, saying, "I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery I was in." They even had her read the captions out loud and brought out a scrapbook that she made for Diddy's 45th birthday with a note saying, "I love you forever." Mia said, "I was afraid he was going to unalive me." She said the scrapbook was a lot more complicated on all levels. Mia's testimony supports the prosecution's narrative of abuse and trauma. However, the defense is using her own words and actions to argue that she is not a victim, or at least not a credible one, and they're trying to create doubt and show her story isn't as clear-cut as it seems. We are now going to get into day number 14 and so much more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it. Okay, so before the jury is brought in, Judge Subramanian says, "Mr. Steele, how much longer do you have on the cross-examination?" Steele says, "At least until lunch, maybe after." Judge says, "We're not going to have 30 more Instagram posts, are we?" Steele says, "I can't promise you that." Moments later, the government's prosecutor told the court that they were just given 30 social media posts to review, some including one of Mia in a swimsuit they plan to objecting to. Now, Steele wants to make an argument that Mia was let go from her employment with Sean Combs due to alcohol abuse. Steele is hoping to enter evidence of Mia taking shots and drinking. The judge has ruled that at least one piece of evidence is inadmissible and does not want the defense to use it to try to embarrass the witness. Okay, judge moves on to say, "Defense, on the elevator hallway video, you are objecting to showing the version we discussed." Defense says, "Yes, it shows Mr. Combs running 30% faster than what really happened. It's prejudicial. We let Prosecutor Smizer know we will cross the expert." Now, the defense has indicated several times in court filings that it would like to challenge the accuracy of the footage CNN obtained last year, a cell phone recording of the hotel surveillance footage. Prosecutors anticipate this argument would likely call a supervisor at the Intercontinental Hotel, whose name is Eddie Garcia, to speak more on the video. Now, the weird thing about it, Mr. Eddie Garcia is given immunity. So let's go through what he's saying now in court. The judge says, "Bring in Mr. Garcia." Garcia enters the courtroom. Prosecutor says, "Did you receive a subpoena to testify at this trial?" "Yes." "Do you intend to invoke your Fifth Amendment rights?" "Yes." "Have you seen the proposed immunity order?" "Yes." "Your Honor, on that basis, we propose you sign the immunity order." Judge says, "Done. Bring in the witness, Mia." Mia takes the stand. All rise. Jury enters. Judge says, "Mr. Steele, you may proceed." Mr. Steele says, "Show DX 1750. Prosecutor Smizer says, "Your Honor, we renew our objection." Judge says, "Mr. Steele, are we just going to show this video? You haven't laid any type of foundation. Take the video down." Steele says, "Did you work as an assistant to someone?" "Maybe 2008 or 2007, I'm not sure." "You had a resume saying you had the ability to multitask and had thick skin." "I'm not sure I wrote that." You also said that you were able to deal with uncomfortable situations 24/7. Smizer says, objection. Reading from document, not in evidence. Judge says overruled. Did you use this as your CV? Looks like it. 1753-R for admission. Admitted, says judge. You went to James Madison University. It's a well-known institution. Sure. Then you were a design assistant? Yeah. In 2008 through 2009, you say you provided round-the-clock support, all personal and professional needs, keeping passports. They were all collected? I don't exactly remember. I didn't travel. But you traveled with Mr. Combs' company. Oh, yes, I did. So when you said they had your passport, they had everyone's passport. True? Yes. You are a strong person? I'm good at teaching people, not necessarily at enforcing things. So you're a leader. I don't know about that. You speak up for yourself? No. But you empower other people. True? Yes. Let's look at your text messages in 1730 and the following. I sound like me. Okay, let's show the jury 1733. You left Mr. Combs' employment by March 2017? Yes. What did you write to Mr. Combs on Christmas 2018? Please read it. Merry Christmas, I love you, and New Year's. I just seen him at Kim's funeral. You reached out to him? Absolutely. This 2019 message, I wrote, I had a nightmare. I was being chased by R. Kelly, and you saved me.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
The person you say RAPED'd you saved you? Objection, says prosecution. Need to rephrase. Here, what did you write? Sending you all the love in the world. You were not in his grip anymore. It was psychological. Why do you keep referring to psychology? Why did you do this? Kim Porter's tragic death was 5 months before. Why were you reaching out to Mr. Combs? 5 months is not a lot. What didn't you understand? That Mr. Combs was brutal to you. How did you write this? Objection, argumentative. Judge Subramanian said, Mr. Steele, let's have a very brief sidebar. Okay, so now they're back from sidebar. Steele says, okay, May 14th, 2020, you text Mr. Combs what? My heart is broken about Dre. In my spirituality, I know that when people are done with the physical world, it's that they have completed their mission. I love you. What's this about? He auditioned for the James Brown part that Chadwick Boseman got. I told Puff I'd email him videos of his audition. You carried a video camera? He required me to do it. Pre-iPhone. I was required. Do you have any footage of Mr. Combs berating you? Objection, says Smizer. Overruled, says the judge. I would not have been allowed to record that. Do you have anything about Mr. Combs berating you? It would have violated confidentiality. So you have no text messages. Well, they showed me one on direct. Showing what? Puff saying, F it, let's go to war. Nothing else? Only reaching out to other people in the office, things other people have seen. Okay, and what did you write here? We had so many funny moments. OMGGG. Anything in your phone about being brutalized by Mr. Combs? I don't think so. How would we find out? Objection, says Smizer. Sustained. Mia, didn't you have time away from Mr. Combs to write, today he essayed me? I didn't have time and would not have written that. August 29th, 2020, he wrote to you, glad you're well, love. Please send me the footage for the doc. Mr. Combs let you go from your employment. I don't know why. It was confusing. I was called back. Here he says he only remembers the good times. Yes, it's 2020. The Me Too movement is strong for 2 years. You could say, I remember the bad times, right? I would have never said that because it's not true. Objection, says Smizer. Overruled. You wrote what? Love you too. I wrote so many crazy things like Mick Jagger trying to take me home and that Baccarat game, my pink bedazzled iPhone. There's trillions of stories. Of course I'll send to you. I was bamboozled by Heather. Remember the scrapbook I made you? I've got you. So why didn't you write, you bamboozled me? Because I was brainwashed. By whom? Puff. How did he bamboozle you with part of his body inside of yours without your consent? Objection. Sustained. What does brainwash mean to you, Mia? The highs were really high and the lows were really low. I was punished whenever Puff was violent, making me believe I had done something wrong. He was praised by the public. You were aware of the Me Too movement, no outcry out of you. Why? He said he was going to tell Cassie what happened. I internalized blame and shame. Who threatened to tell Miss Ventura about Mr. Combs supposedly essaying you? Puff. So why didn't you respond? Great. Let's tell everyone what you did to me. Objection. Sustained. Let's move on. You said you have a moral obligation to speak up. Now I do. Why not in 2017? I was brainwashed. When did you first say me too? When I first saw him being held responsible. Now I have therapy. Mr. Combs wrote, I gotta find that. You got a copy? What does it refer to? I think he means the James Brown video. The scrapbook? I wrote, I think I have PDFs I think I gave to you for your birthday in your house on Mapleton. I customized that purple leather suit so you could walk not giving an F. If y'all can't find it, I will, but I didn't. Mr. Steele says, you had a PDF? I thought so. What did you write here? My grandmother went into hospice, so I have to fly out. I have to miss your event here in my hometown. C'est la vie. F and crush it and make history. Heart emoji. He says, deepest sympathy for your grandmother. Mia says, thanks. Okay, and what was this about? There had been some terrible event with the police. Pharrell organized an event to change the narrative of Beach Week, which I believe was a college thing. You wanted to see Mr. Combs? I did not, only said so. My hometown of Virginia Beach doesn't usually get this type of attention. You're telling the jury you were scared of Mr. Combs, true? True, I was scared of him when he was scary. Listen to 1750. Tell me if you recognize it. Move to admit 1750 and 1750R. Judge says, Ms. Smyser, we object. The proper basis of admission has not been established. Let's have another sidebar. Okay, so they're back from sidebar and the judge has admitted the video that they were speaking of last week where Mia is wishing Diddy a happy birthday. I will not show it here, but many of you have emailed it to me and you are right. It's definitely her. All right, now it's time to go on break. Okay, so they're back. Prosecution says until now, they've been objecting to exhibits and turning over private correspondence of this witness. We have now sat through hours of humiliating cross. Mr. Steele has insulted this witness, saying things like, God forbid, after things she said. One by one, Your Honor has let the exhibits in. But now, cumulatively, we have reached harassment. Given the tone, we do not think continuing this is appropriate. She has carried herself with grace. This is adding to trauma. Eyes are on this trial. Other victims in other trials will become aware of this. Judge says, I have not seen yelling. My understanding is that the God forbid is an apology, not an attempt to intimidate. But the argumentative question is, Mr. Steele, here, you're repeating yourself. If I feel you are asking questions just to ask them, I'm going to tell you to move on. Understood? I understand. I don't see improper treatment here, Miss Comey, but I will continue to watch. Mr. Steele says, I saw photographs 1799, 1 to 25. Judge says, can I see them? Prosecution says, we don't have stamped versions of these. Judge says, do you have the photos? Yes, we won't know which ones they're referring to. Judge says, Mr. Steele, why don't they have stamped copies of these? Steele says, only saw this morning. Judge says, just show to me one by one. Next. Mr. Steele, what is the relevance? Impeachment. She said she had no time for herself to tell others. These images show Mia with friends and family over the years. Why would a baby shower have relevance? Why not just ask questions about this? Why show these? Because I like to do the impeachment that way. Absent any further showing, they are excluded, says the judge. Steele says, admit them from the record? No. Defense says, we want them in if there is an appeal. Prosecution says, we'll put them in the case file. That's how we handle it. Steele says, I asked Mia, you still have friends? And she said, I did not see them. I did not have an external sounding board. She said, there was no time. They are not relevant and they are cumulative. You already spent a lot of time on the scrapbook. Please bring Mia back in. All rise. You and Miss Ventura were best friends. Fair? Yes. You said she was your sister? Yes. You loved her? Absolutely. And you feel the same way today? Yes. You would never lie to her. Puff didn't allow me to tell her things like where he was, anything he said. Whatever story Puff told me, I had to uphold that. Was Miss Ventura in love with Mr. Combs? I thought so. Did you ever tell her the person she loved raped'd you? No, not in the way I wish I could have. Do you remember telling her Mr. Combs' brain needs to be rewired? May we have a sidebar, says the prosecution. You may, says the judge. Now they're in a sidebar. Now Diddy's behavior has been pretty consistent throughout the trial, and he doesn't appear to be moved by any particular testimony. Now today his head has swiveled back from his attorney Brian Steele to the witness Mia throughout this morning's testimony, sitting back in his usual chair at the defense table. Combs propped his elbows up on the arm of his chair. Mia has kept her head down through most of this testimony, with her bangs pretty much covering her face. She's wearing a beige blazer and pants with a white blouse. Her blonde hair is pulled back. Okay, so now they're back from sidebar. Steele says, "Why would you cover up for Mr. Combs?" to Ms. Ventura. "Why writing that Mr. Combs is just misunderstood?" Objection. Rephrase, says the judge. "Did you tell Ms. Ventura she needs to stay with Mr. Combs?" "I don't remember that." "He could find out what I was telling her." "How?" "He had stolen my phone and Cassie's phone many times. He's put tracking devices on her car." "But you were alone with Ms. Ventura." "Yes." "You sued Mr. Combs for $10 million. It was a mediation. My lawyers ended up getting $200,000. "And you got $200,000, right?" "Yes." "Please look at the screen. Is that your social media account? Looks like a text message. Sounds like me. You text Mr. Combs?" "No, I don't remember sending this." "You are in a tutu and Mr. Combs appears to be holding his private parts. In Ms. Ventura's lawsuit, she alleged S.A. "Yes." "Why did you still communicate with Mr. Combs?" Objection. Sustained. "Did you meet these prosecutors in January 2024? "I may have. I don't remember the timing." "Did you tell them Mr. Combs S.A.'d you?" "I don't remember when I told them." "Did you get a lawyer?" "Yes." "The lawyer who had 45 days earlier obtained an enormous judgment." Objection. Sustained. "Why did you hire her?" Objection. Sustained. Let's move on. "You only first alleged S.A. in June 2024. "I don't remember the timing of things. The rest I can't go into. I understand it's privilege." Objection. That's sustained. Let's have a sidebar. Okay, so now we're back from sidebar. Steele says, "Let's talk about Prince's party. You said you had no permission to go there, but you knew many people who knew Mr. Combs would be there." Rephrase, says the judge. "Did you wear a disguise?" "No." "Any photos of a chase?" "No." "You say you and Miss Ventura got a paddle boat into a storm?" "Yes." "Any recordings of that?" "No." "Any note or text message to prove it happened?" "I don't think so. We were on a paddle boat." "Did you make it up?" "No." "You said you had no time with family. Did you ever go to events with your family and friends?" "Sporadically over 8 years, but few and far between." "Weddings?" "Sister and best friend, I believe." "Halloween?" "I don't remember." "You had times with others, right?" "I had to be in communication 24/7. I was never outside his grip." "Outside the work environment, why couldn't you explain the abuse you say you were experiencing?" "It's more complicated than that." "Isn't it true that other than the few times Mr. Combs was violent with Miss Ventura, which is never okay, you were comfortable with Mr. Combs?" "You have to rephrase," says the judge. "You never advised Miss Ventura to leave him?" "No." "Until 2024, you never told anyone you were S.A.'d by Mr. Combs?" "Unless it was my privileged therapist, that's true." "Could you waive that privilege?" Objection. "Move on," says the judge. "You joined the Me Too money grab against Mr. Combs." Objection. "You knew Miss Ventura received money from her lawsuit against Mr. Combs." "It was public, yes." "But you speak with Miss Ventura?" "Never about anything I discussed with the government." "How would we know that?" Objection. Sustained. So Mia did not make her allegations of S.A. known to prosecutors until June 2024. Steele says that is 7 months after Ms. Ventura's lawsuit went viral. Why did it take 7 or 8 months for you to tell the U.S. Attorney's Office that Mr. Combs supposedly S.A.'d you? Mia said that she had not received sufficient guidance from her legal team. Let me show you these documents. Read it to yourself, and Your Honor, could we have a sidebar? Yes. Sidebar ensues. Jurors, you can leave. The jurors leave. Judge to Mia. When we come back, you will be shown documents. Have a good break. Mia leaves. Ignifilo says, "We'll talk with the government over the break about the witness's lawyer." Okay. While on break, Mia was given documents to refresh her memory about the numerous meetings that she's had with the government prior to the trial. I also want to note that according to NBC, one female juror was seen smiling, seemingly enjoying defense attorney Brian Steele's cross-examination of Mia. Sometimes the juror widened her eyes and furrowed her brows, appearing skeptical of some of Mia's testimony. Even during witty portions of testimony, trial attendees have remained engaged, if not invested, riding the elevators to the courtroom on the 26th floor of the federal courthouse. A woman wore a wristband that said not guilty, but she flipped the bracelet inside out when she was asked by reporters about it. Speaking of those who are in support of Diddy, I want you to hear from his friend, Charlucci Finney.
You mentioned putting on the defense case. Do you think Diddy's going to testify? Do you have any idea of who might go and be on the stand?
I don't think you'll be able to keep him off of there.
Really?
Because I just don't think so. Because he's charismatic, he's smart, and he don't have nothing to hide. You don't have anything to hide.
Well, you know, with all the allegations that have come in, I have to tell you, I'm not sure how many more skeletons could allegedly be in one's closet than what has come out in terms of what they have alleged. And to that end, I have seen his family in court. I've seen his mother, his sister, his children, his daughters. Of course, his sons are there as well. I'm not the youngest among them. What has it been like for his children, some of whom lost their mother tragically just a few years ago?
Yeah, and I want people to understand that as well. These are children, right? Mm-hmm. That the only living parent is Puff, right? They have to sit there maybe 10 feet, 15 feet away from their father. They can't hug him, they can't kiss him. They got to whisper to him and throw signs and stuff like that to show him that they love him. And you know, it's heartbreaking for the girls. He wasn't there for their graduation. Mm-hmm. He wasn't there for the prom. You know, he wasn't there to to send them off to school and none of that. So it's heartbreaking.
Were you able to review and read some of your interviews with the prosecutors? Yes. And you didn't mention SA until June 2024? I don't remember the days. Did you give all the materials to the government? I gave them to my lawyer. They gave them to the government. Okay, so look at this one. In these notes, did you raise SA to the prosecutors? Objection. Improper refreshment. Overruled. Did you raise it in January 2024? Definitely not in the first meeting. I don't remember each specific meeting, but I definitely didn't raise it in the first meeting. And in the next document that you just reviewed, judge says just ask her if her recollection is refreshed. Mia says no, not to the specifics. You never mentioned SA until you hired attorney Sean Crowley. I have no idea when I first mentioned it, except that it was after I had representation. You intend to sue Mr. Combs for compensation? You want money? No. Okay, Mia, let me ask you this. Who have you worked for since? Madonna? For how long? 8 months, from April 2019. When you did that, did Mr. Combs assist you in getting that job? Absolutely not. So you were not blacklisted? No. No retribution? He took away the TV show, the credit I was promised. You told the jury that you were surprised you were let go, right? I did. You were let go for drinking? No. You remember Miss Ventura's video called Official Girl? Yes. And King of Hearts and her song with Nicki Minaj, The Boys? Yes. And Nicki Minaj is well known? Yes. And Miss Ventura did the song Numb with Rick Ross? She did. And I Love It with Fabulous? Yes. And do you remember Miss Ventura in the studio with Kid Cudi? I don't remember the specifics. And Mr. Combs himself? Yes. The TV show you mentioned, what was it about? My experience. Still says how a person from a small town dealt with a person such as Mr. Combs. A comedic version, yes. What other films do you work on? Dope, Lawless, Undefeated. You enjoy the projects? Yes. And you call the people a second family? We all call it that. You thought Mr. Combs was a genius? At the time. You wanted to continue to work with Mr. Combs, right? I wanted to continue following my dream. So defense attorney Brian Steele is trying to frame a text message that Mia sent in 2017 after she had been fired from Sean Combs, saying that she was going to unalive herself. He suggested that the feeling of dread at being fired showed that she loved the job and would be willing to exact revenge for being dismissed. Ma'am, would you agree with me that the reason you wrote that text message exchange is because you love the job? My entire world was being ripped away from me, and even if in hindsight that world was awful, I didn't know it at the time. Do you recall Mr. Combs' company putting more money into promoting Miss Ventura than any of his other artists? I didn't absorb everything. Who is Jason Wiley? He worked for the record label in budgeting, right? Do you recall being given the opportunity to have your therapist's notes be seen by the parties? Objection. Sidebar, says the judge. So Brian still asked Mia if she would be willing to forego patient confidentiality and provide records from her therapy session with the defense. Now, it's not clear whether he is serious about the proposal or if it's a tactic to raise doubt in the minds of the jurors. Okay, so now they're back from sidebar and still says, you never called law enforcement, right? I did not. You said you were stopped while speeding in LA. Mr. Combs got you out of it. You remember? I do. Did you ever think of calling anonymously? No. When you say Mr. Combs hurt your arm, did you seek medical help? No, I would not have been allowed. Did you take photos? No. Did you scream? No, I was in shock. Before the 5 days you say you were awake, did you ever stay awake that long? Absolutely not. You testified that you would give up all the money if there had not been SA. Any discussion that you will make money by testifying? No. No, that's not even a thing. Your Honor, can I set up the other matters? Yes, we'll break for that. Jury leaves and the witness leaves. Judge says we'll reconvene. We're now on a 10-minute lunch break. Now, defense attorney Brian Steele said this morning that he expected to be done cross-examining Mia by lunch, but prefaced that timeline with, I'm terrible. It's now an hour past lunch and other witnesses are waiting to testify. Judge Arun Subramanian said court will probably run late today to accommodate a witness with a flight back to Los Angeles tonight. Okay, so they're back. Steele says nothing further. Judge says members of the jury do not consider any of the testimony about this witness's communication with her therapist. Then he says, Ms. Smizer says Mia was posting to social media part of your job? Yes. As part of that, did you post to your personal Instagram account? Yes. What did Mr. Combs do if he thought that you weren't doing your job? I'd be yelled at and humiliated. Did other employees also post for Mr. Combs' birthday? Yes. The birthday video, was it for Club Diddy? Yes. Did Mr. Combs co-own the water you were drinking? And did you say Revolt, the project you worked on at the end? Yes. You posted about the good, not the bad times? Yes. Why did you want to make the person who abused you happy? When he was happy, I was safe. Were you worried about your physical safety? Yes, I've been abused by Puff before. I knew his wrath. Did you engage a pro bono lawyer? Yes. Why did you meet with the government so much? So my story could be understood. Why were you terrified of Puff and the repercussions? Did the government tell you what to say? No, only to tell my truth. How did you feel about public speaking? Terrified. Can you explain that given that you've been in comedy? I had Puff's permission for that. Any comparison to testifying about Mr. Combs' essaying you here? None. Why are you here today? If not, I wouldn't be able to look my goddaughters in the eye and ever advise them what to do in this situation. Mr. Steele, any recross? No, sir. Mia, you may go, unless you want to stay. Mia leaves and the government calls its next witness. The government calls Sylvia Oken. Where do you work? The Beverly Hills Hotel for 17 years. I'm the director of sales and marketing. How do reservations work? A system called Opera. Does Opera link a customer's alias to their real name? Yes. And this one, who is it? Really? Sean Combs. Can a guest change his or her alias? Yes. How is this paid for? T. Fletcher at Bad Boy, paid by American Express of Sean Combs. What's this? The folio or bill for room 259? What's this? A $500 charge for oil damage?
They said he never gave you money.
Prosecution says no further questions. Cross. Defense says the accompanying guest was Cassie Ventura. Yes. Nothing more. Is that a good place to let the jury go for the day? Yes. Okay, jurors. See you tomorrow. The jurors leave. So another one of Combs' accusers could take the stand as early as Wednesday. Eddie Garcia, who worked in security at the Intercontinental Hotel, is expected to take the stand tomorrow morning as prosecutors' next witness in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors said they expect to question Garcia for about 90 minutes. Now, prosecutor Maureen Comey said forensic video expert Frank Piazza, Combs' employee Derek Ferguson, and Brianna Bongolan, who previously accused Combs of battery, are likely among the next witnesses to follow Garcia, but the order could change. Now, Comey said Jane, another one of Combs' accusers, is using a pseudonym during the trial. could take the stand as early as Wednesday afternoon, and the plan is to get Jane off the stand in plenty of time for an international flight she's scheduled to catch next Thursday. Whoever this Jane is getting the bleep out of town before she gets caught up in any of this Diddy madness. Whew, that was a lot for today. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about Mia? What do you think about her testimony? And what do you think about her cross-examination by that tough and rough Brian Steele? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.